it's so dystopian to even talk about like all of these things. It feels like a poorly written dystopian futuristic novel. Like
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I read that book in 2016, like right after Trump was elected, and I was reading it and I was like, this is a little far-fetched. Like it's really, I love Margaret Atwood's prose. Like the writing was just so beautiful. So like that got me through some of the parts where I was like, really? And then when I watched the show late, and I watched it after the insurrection had happened. So when people would ask me like, what is this about? I would describe it as, oh, it's what would have happened if the insurrection had been successful. And now I'm watching it and it's like they took notes from The Handmaid's Tale. So it's like this show, this story has completely evolved with our administration from like something that was so far-fetched to something that is actively happening.
Right.
And I hate that.
Well, and it's partly a part of the playbook that the Nazis in Germany did, that the Nazis in Germany took from the U.S. and our Jim Crow stuff, and like, so it's like it's not a new playbook. It's just a different target group,
adaptation of
right?
Yeah.
Or a smaller subset, because a lot of us were always part of the group. You know, there were queers and trans people who were harmed.
Yep.
You know, within like Germany and all of that, and they wasn't talked about as much in the same ways, but we were, and I think it's just the group's getting smaller and smaller, but it's always been us to some degree. Yeah.
Well, when we were in DC, I was talking to the other person that went with us about, you know, about this very thing, like when is it time to leave? Like what would be my personal line in the sand?
Right.
And we were talking about that. Theirs was, you know, really realistic. What would you consider yours to be?
It would probably be the fact that, like, I can't go to a doctor's office without being outed to every single person there. Like, I've sat in an office waiting to be called back, and I hear the people at the front desk talking about me, about what it is, you know, and it's like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it happens a lot, especially in the town we're in, and, like, knowing that my wife having the baby, like, if something were to go wrong, there's nothing they legally or medically will or can do. Like, they just won't. And it's either just because of the laws or just because they don't want to. And it's kind of a, like, that's people's lives. Like, like
exactly. And they have that law, where now it's like if you're a healthcare provider, you can refuse to give treatment, not in like emergency settings, but still, if you don't believe in someone's identity or whatever, and that goes all the way down to even like pharmacists. You know, so there are all these people that can look at you and be like, "Ooh, that goes against my religion," or whatever the fuck bigoted reason they have, and then just choose to like make your life really difficult. And I feel like that's a really good line to have. You know, that's just like having fucking integrity and valuing yourself to like not want to put up with that bullshit. So,
what's your line?
Oh Lord, I have 3, and it was back when, you know, years ago, which was actually just like a couple months ago, and I was thinking, okay, my lines are gonna be if there are camps, if there's martial law, and if we have to start wearing identifiers. And I feel like the camps are already happening.
They are.
And, you know,
they just haven't.
Right. They're just in other countries. And
they haven't said trans people.
Not yet. Yeah, exactly. So the camps are happening, but just not for us yet.
Right.
And the martial law thing, I feel, is already, it's within 100 miles of around the border. And that makes it dicey because it's like, can you really just instate it in one spot and not for the whole, I don't know. And then the identifiers, I feel like that's on its way.
100%.
I really do. And like the bathroom laws, like
I don't go to the bathroom without my service dog because I am not safe. I don't feel safe. I take him with me everywhere because people leave me alone. Like they're like, oh, it's a big dog.
Sick of,
for real. Don't fuck him up.
I feel like the identifiers are already there though.
Yeah,
because
that's a
we're
good
not
point.
allowed to have our paperwork certain ways, or if our like my IDs don't have Bonnie Violet on them,
right.
you know. So like already at that, I'm already outed, right, as a trans person, and so I think to some degree that's an outing.
Yeah.
I know it's like a different level than like a stamp or like a patch or something on my body, but I mean, but also like I feel like I look like a trans person most of the time, so it's like, you know what I mean, so it's like it's always out there, but
and they want to like mark the like passports and birth certificates
Yeah.
that have been changed, so that's totally an identifier. Like if you look at someone's passport and it has a mark or a code or something that says they changed their gender marker, it's like, okay, that's a fucking identifier. And you're right, I think that absolutely counts. I think in my mind I was just thinking more of like the, you know, like you have to wear this colored patch if you are supposed to use the women's room, or like some bullshit like that.
Right.
Because what we've seen with the bathroom like bounty laws, they don't know how to enforce it.
Yeah.
And in the hearings, like, we're like, how are you going to enforce it? And they're like, and they don't know. They hadn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to believe that they just hadn't thought that far out, but there's also the possibility that they have thought that far out. They're just not ready to like start talking about it yet. And that shit really scares me.
Yeah.
But it's like 2 of my 3 have already been crossed, and I'm still here. So,
yeah,
I don't know. What about you?
It's really hard. I think right now I feel like I'm not leaving anywhere until my mom dies, and only because she's really ill right now. Like she's probably got a year or 2 more, and like I don't know. I feel like it would take a lot for me to like leave my mom.
Yeah.
And I haven't really thought specifically what that looks like. I mean, I've even went to the point of like my partner moving away and me not going with him.
Yeah.
You know, so, and to me, I feel like that's you know, that's something I don't want to have to do, but you know, it's something I've thought about, but I haven't really thought too critically about like what's my trans specific line that's gonna cause me to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I think in my mind, I just assumed that I would make my mom go with me. So,
well, there's
like,
pack
we're
your
leaving
shit.
Mom.
There's that. Yeah, there's that, I guess.
But it feels, because when we're here, everything feels so dire and like it is going to happen. This horrible shit is right on top of us. But somewhere blue, like when you guys leave, I feel like it's not going to feel as imminent.
Yeah.
Because that was the vibe that I had the whole weekend, was like, oh, we have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, like we have people. Yeah, there's hope. People are actively fighting for us.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem as bad, but like when you come back here, it's just like that's all you can really think about.
The world's on fire.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
And so it really sounded like once you were gonna become a dad, had to deal with the hospitals and that sort of stuff, it really became like, this is not okay.
Yeah, just putting my family at risk, putting an innocent kid at risk, like, and my wife, like, it's not their fault, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just messed up.
And it's not like your fault either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just a trans person. It's other people's
Just
shit,
trying
but
to
I understand.
exist.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And kind of, Pacey had kind of alluded to the fact that you're getting out of here. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about the fact that you're going to get out of here and what you needed to do to make that happen?